What up, everybody? In this video, let's talk about how our boy Sagat is kind of missing his identity in Street Fighter 6. So Sagat's in a bit of an odd spot in Street Fighter 6, and I just want to make a video discussing some of the frustrations with people that have been long-time Sagat players. And these are not just nobody players. They're players like Bonchan, Reinhardt, two of the best players to ever use this friggin' tall giant Muay Thai fighter. But I just want to show where this frustration is coming from, and hopefully where we can make some changes in the future to kind of get Sagat feeling like his old self. And no, this is not a doom and gloom video. We still love Sagat. He's fun to use. This is a video just to show where people are getting their frustrations from, and hopefully maybe this will land on the desk on someone at Capcom and they implement some of these changes to make Sagat feel more like his old self. Because at the end of the day, when you look at all the facts in front of you, the real reason people are upset is Sagat is actually losing things from his original identity, and he really doesn't have an identity to compensate for that in Street Fighter 6. He's kind of aimless. I'm going to show you what I mean. Let's get into it right now. Now, the first elephant in the room we got to talk about is his low tiger shot. There is no way to slice it. I've already made videos on this. This move is so dog shit right now. I do not know what Capcom was thinking when they went in the bag with this. But let's get into why this is such a bad thing for Sagat's identity moving forward. So right off the bat, it's arguably the worst projectile in the game. It's even slower than Ken's fireball in total recoveries. It's 50 total frames. That's so slow that there's so many times in game that I just know if I see this getting thrown out, even when I land on the floor like you see over there, I still have enough time to get a punish counter combo off. This should not be happening. Sagat's low fireball, believe it or not, is his most important special as a character in his entire history for Street Fighter. The reason low tiger shot has been so important to him historically is that, one, it's his most forcing special move. You gotta do something when this is coming. Block, jump, parry. You gotta make that decision. It's a lot different than just being able to duck over the high fireball. The other thing is, it was his best tool to keep your opponents from closing in on you. Now, in this game, all people are doing is just slowly ducking the high tiger shots because they know if you throw a low tiger shot, you're taking a massive gamble. You're so slow on recovery here that they know they can hit you for 30, 40, 50% if they get the jump in. So every low tiger shot is the most unbalanced risk reward that he's ever had as a character. And in the current state that he only has one low fireball, which is this awkward speed, it's dumb for two reasons. First, they picked the one speed that you cannot drive rush behind. If this was a slow tiger shot that Sagat could actually drive rush behind it, maybe we'd be talking about something that's completely different here. But one, you can't utilize fireball drive rush like the other zoning characters, which is such a big part of their toolkit. The fact that it's so slow on recovery, you really can't do corner lockdown with fireballs like Sagat has always been able to do, or what the other zoning characters like Guile, Akuma, and Ryu just go ham with these fireballs that just lock you down in the corner. This low tiger shot design almost just killed the character's identity all by itself, but unfortunately, this is only the beginning. So let's take a trip back down memory lane to Street Fighter 4, and I know what you're thinking. Stupid sexy Sagat in these tights. I know, they look amazing. He lost basically all of his uniqueness. Like, let's just look at some of the unique things that they gave Sagat in Street Fighter 4. So as we know in his history, he had 3 versions of each of his tiger shots, a slow, medium, fast. We've been over this a million times. He also had the EX versions of high and low, which he has now, but we know that he had a lot more fireballs. Unfortunately, also didn't stop there because they also killed how unique his mobility used to be. As we know, Sagat is a slow bastard. That's never going to change. But he used to be able to cancel things like forward light kick or forward heavy kick into specials. So you could do a tiger knee after this. If you bait them with a fireball and they jump, you can do like a Kara DP like that. You can even do a Kara fireball after another fireball by canceling forward light kick or heavy kick. But all of these unique options are taken away for his mobility. And they really didn't replace with anything because he doesn't get that much alpha drive rush in this game anyways, especially after fireballs. So they really hurt him on the mobility side, and you know what? It would have helped him a lot if he had that extra dynamic to him in Street Fighter 6. Unfortunately, it doesn't stop there because they also took away Sagat's Angry Scar. This was done by 2 quarter circles back with kick. What this would do is it would make Sagat's uppercut do more damage, but also give it extra juggle points, so it would combo off some stuff that it usually shouldn't be able to. But why was this taken away? Because it even came back in Street Fighter 5. It was a really cool mechanic that, you know, he could use like Ryu's Denjin or some other ability. Like, what if in Street Fighter 6, if you did Angry Scar and they did DI, that the uppercut would break the DI in one hit. Like, just little things like that add so many different layers and mechanics to the character, but for some reason, they completely remove Angry Scar. And you thought it was done about how they killed the man's uniqueness. There's one more thing that they took that they really shouldn't have taken either. And it could have been done so much better in Street Fighter 6 as well. If you double tap heavy kick, Sagat would do a fake kick. If you were slow, you'd get the, full heavy kick out. But imagine he had to move to fake people. Like, this would be a good feint in Street Fighter 6 if they work it to make people jump, and then you hit them with the DP. But for some reason, he doesn't have his step kick or his fake kick either. So just another thing that they took from us. And the only thing Sagat got in return from losing all those things was just Tiger Nexus, essentially. And don't get me wrong, we've had our fun with Tiger Nexus. Broski did a video on why it's such a cool move or a cool mechanic. But it's simply not enough to lose all those other things that really played into the identity of the character. And then the last thing that really killed his uniqueness is this man used to be the king of anti-airs. And don't get me wrong, he still gets tons of damage if you get them correctly with anti-airs, but he's kind of in an inconsistent spot because one, his light frame DP is 5 frames, which is excellent, but the range is pitiful. And the reason that this is an issue is his medium punch DP for some reason is 10 frames. And this thing will get empty jump blocked like you wouldn't believe. I'm sure you've seen it happen to tons of pro players as well. It's just inexcusable for this DP to be 10 frames, and then the heavy DP, you ain't ever going to anti-air with that outside of like some specific demon flip areas. Even his EX DP is 8 frames. I know it's very invincible, but he's just not that consistent with anti-airs. And I know it might have to work out his combos differently now if they change the 10 frame startup, but they should have thought of this before. Even things like his step kick and his standing heavy kick, when you think the step kick is going to hit, like that would have connected for sure in Street Fighter 5 and Street Fighter 4. But for some reason, it's very inconsistent here. If you make a mistake with that, you're eating tons of damage. And there are also dead spots like on his heavy kick. Like this would have clipped him out of the air in previous Street Fighter games, but over here it has a weird hitbox animation that it doesn't always work. So his anti-airs, including this back fist or the elbow attack, they're way more inconsistent now. And again, that's not really what we're used to as Sagat players. And believe me, I've seen the tweets. People have replied to me, stop complaining, stop crying. I'll cry as much as I want. No, but seriously, they're saying Sagat just plays different now. You have to accept it. He's a brawler type. Dude, I get that. But here's the thing. The frustration comes from he has his toes dipped in too many pools. He's halfway into being a zoner, halfway into being a brawler, but he doesn't excel in either. Just pick one lane. Maybe if they made him a fun brawler like Adon, more like Adon or something like that, people would have tons of fun. But he doesn't really excel as a brawler or zoner, so he kind of feels like he's very aimless to me. And maybe they're afraid that, characters have too much PTSD of what Sagat used to do to them back in the day. But you know what? Guile still exists. He's owning noobs. Blanca still exists. He's confusing and frustrating, newcomers and novice players. JP crushes beginner players. So it's not like there aren't characters that exist that really give it a hard time for new and upcoming players. But for some reason, I feel like they didn't know what they wanted to do with Sagat, and this is what we got in the meantime. And to me, that's a real shame because Sagat is one of the most iconic video game characters of all time and a huge legacy character in this franchise. So to see what they're doing to him with how much better they made Ryu or Guile and things like that, like, what are we doing here? Sagat is one of the GOATs of the franchise. Like, they should have had more direction with what they wanted to do with him. But again, that's just my opinion. But since I'm not going to just be complaining this entire video, I'm going to give some solutions as to what I think it helps Sagat a lot and would make a lot of long-time Sagat players happy as well. So the first is I'm not going to give him a crouch medium kick drive rush. I'm actually having a lot of fun not having to rely on this so long. Like I played Ed and Terry in the past, and you kind of get sick of just playing that game style. The first thing I would do, I would buff low Tiger Shot. I know they're not going to give you another speed of this, or probably stuck with this for the rest of our lives, but at least let it recover at 48 frames, 47 frames, something to make it seem like it's its old self again. And if that comes at the expense of, adding total frames to the high Tiger Shot, it might be worth it. That's just something that you might have to sacrifice. But hopefully this is something they're looking into, because right now, this ain't doing it. And then the last change I would make is very simple. I would make that standing light kick, so this move over here can combo after a drive rush without it being counter hit or punish counter. And I know people are going to say that this seems like a minor change, but you know what? This is one of Sagat's best normals at stopping your opponent from advancing on them. And because he doesn't have access to all these low tiger shots, at least there's a scenario now that where if you do catch them walking forward, you're going to be able to combo into like a medium punch DP. That goes a long way, especially if you can combo into level 3 and whatnot. But these two simple decisions would make tons of Sagat vets happy because it puts you in a bit more of the driver's seat again, and you know that you can stop advancing opponents. 2 changes. Let me know what you think. Send this out to Capcom if you think it'll help us all. Tweet them. Maybe they'll watch it one day. Who knows? But these 2 changes will go a long way, and I don't think it would break the game meta. Let me know what you think. Peace out. I'll catch you on the next one.